Oh, hi there. How are you? Good. I'm glad. Excellent. Wonderful. I love it. So, you join me for another enthralling episode of I'm doing some stuff in 3D. Maybe one or two people will drop in and watch me. Who knows? Who cares? Whatever. It's fine. So, what are we doing today? I'm glad you've asked. We have plasticity open. I've just updated to the latest version on this machine. If I do a new file, here's one thing that really gets me. I'm going to moan about plasticity for a second. Is this shit. The default cube. The lamest blenderism ever. Because the thing that gets me is like the person who let's just get rid of that forever. The person who created plasticity is obviously, very familiar with Blender, which is a bad thing because it means that they've borrowed some of the idioms from Blender, which are shit and stupid. So let's change a couple of those. So first one is like G, R, and S, right? I don't even remember which one E. I know E is scale and R is rotate. E is rotate and R is scale, right? But I don't remember that offhand because I'm so used to pressing W, E, R everywhere that I don't even have to think about it. My button just goes to the thing, and then I do the thing, and they're next to each other. Versus grab, which is what that stands for, rotate on R, and S for scale, which are further away from each other. Because Blender, the worst design 3D application out there. So, although I've just noticed they've got like the if nothing attached, steer it around vision. But yeah, I think plasticity is like almost well designed enough, but not quite. And I say this not as a layperson, I say this as a product designer and B, a product designer who designed products like this. It's not quite there. And like, I don't know, I don't want to bitch about it too much. I do think plasticity is good. I don't think it's, they need to focus on some stuff, I think. I think for now, I know they are, yeah, that. Oh, hang on, what's that window? Oh, don't want to do that. Yeah, I know they are constantly adding features. It's really good value. It's fantastic value. But yeah, like they need to just get, and this has changed quite a lot since the version I last had. I don't think, in a lot of ways in which it's changed, I don't think are necessarily UX improvements. But whatever. Plasticity is quite good. But am I even modeling anything in here today? Probably not. But I've just got to do a quick little bit of setup because I can't remember how to do this. We can just, on here, I think what we can do is, if I go to F even, and then I can change the key. Yeah, I can change the keyboard shortcut from here. There's no window to do it in. You have to do it from inline. So if we do move, sign shortcut, I'm going to make that on W, right? And then if we do, I don't know what freestyle move it is, and then we're going to do scale. Scale is on R, I think, and then rotate is on. Oh shit! It's a shit system. Rotate is on. The sign shortcut is on E. There we go. Wonderful. So now W. Yeah, hang on. Just make a shape. Let's just draw ourselves a corner rectangle. Boop, boop. And extrude the thing out. There we go. And then W-E. Oh, there we go. Hey. And yeah, it does the Blender style. Although the constraints don't seem to work. Is that user error? The fact that shift doesn't constrain? Is that a me? It just feels like but I should be able to press tab and then go to the actual. No, I have to. I don't. Again, inconsistencies. See, right? So like, if you want to. There we go. Wonderful. Let's just go to F, delete, shift backspace. What? Assign shortcut. Okay, sure. A little inconsistency there. So like, let's say if I start drawing a shape, so I want to go to center rectangle, right? And then pressing tab, that puts me in the value. So I can be 10, 10, 10, right, 10 and 10. Press enter. That's a very caddy type thing. Oh, shit. How do I? It's that in it. Right, and then if I grab this and I go rotate, right? And I start doing this, where I can't press shift to constrain, or can I? Doesn't really say. V pivot. Okay. Oh, okay. Fine. Does that leave it there permanently or just temporarily? Anyway, while holding this down, I can't then press tab and then go into a value. You have to come down to here. So really, while I'm here, and if I do, let's just do that and do E again, right? I can't put in a value because it gets dropped, it gets applied immediately. Although it doesn't, but where in that action it did, but this one it doesn't. Again, it's inconsistent. We have to go back in here and do 20 degrees or whatever it is, and then I'll eventually whatever. And also axis is a float, which is really odd. I mean, I think I know why they've done it. So I do this. I come up here. Yeah, you can adjust, but also it means it's going to automatically do that, so you can gimbal. Having that being a float versus an angle and a float value should just be a series of angles, right? So it should be X, Y, Z, which it is. But why? So is this a case of like, if I turn this to 1, it means that's then going to rotate? See? It's bizarre. So change that to 0, which means that needs to be 1. And that means this will be rotated on this axis by 26.6. Let's do 30. It's straight 30%, right? 30% rotation. Change this to 1. That should go to 0, but it doesn't. It splits the difference. And then if I do 1 there, it will split the difference again. But why? Versus, so having angle and then influence of angle, which is what this is doing. Influence of angle across, and again, these numbers change, so because you can't really have it work like that IRL. If we rotate the entire shape, so go to 5, press escape, go to 5. Let's see if it works the same way. And then do that again. No, it's the same. So I've set no, if I come in here immediately, and I set angle, but I set no influence, it won't rotate at all until I set this to a number. But then if I change this number, once again, it will still gimbal around. There might be some weird use case where this is useful, but versus saying, I would like to rotate by this degree on this axis, which so I come to C4D, and I do whatever. There we go. It's always the first shape takes a second. Weird. And then every subsequent shape is like, I don't know what that's about, but whatever. So yeah, if I come to do the same thing, right, and rotate here, and then let's just get my little thingy up, right, and I can say on which axis I would like, actually that's not my rotation, it's this. So I go, whoop, and there we go, and then whoop. Actually, I can't do that number, but I'm saying, right, on X, Y, and Z, I would like to rotate by this amount, and then this I have to press enter. It doesn't happen automatically, it only happens automatically or visually with the widget. But if I do tab, it won't let me tab into the value, but that's not a normal workflow in here anyway, apart from in Modo. But yeah, this makes much more sense. I want to rotate by this much on this axis versus I'm going to take this amount and then have to independently select the influence based on a float in that direction. It's like a very developer-y representation. That might be what's happening under the hood, but the end user doesn't need to see that. Anyway, I'm going to stop bitching about plasticity for now. There's bits of it just piss me off. That's not all. There's a very long list, but that's not what this is about. What we're actually doing today is let's come into my, not my downloads folder, but into my, let's open up the project I'm actually working on. And I'm actually going to start putting some more meat on the bones of it. So I think on the last stream, I showed off a bunch of the designs I had, plus so I added more makeup types. I had like a compact thing you could open up, and I didn't like it. Let me just open it up and I'll show you, because I kind of fucking hated it. What's happening here? There we go. That's one of them. Yeah, I just kind of fucking hated it. So there we go. I was like, oh, make it an actual clamshell, and then I saw it in like for real, in situ for realsies. Come on, warm up. There we go. And yeah, I was like, I fucking hate this. So I went ahead and I made a brand new one from scratch, which I think is much better, which I need to quickly finish. And then we can, but actually I might not even finish it yet. I might just start laying out scenes because it feels a little bit like busy work. Let's give this a refresh. And that one is like this, which I think is way better. Personally, I think that's way better. So I might just say, but like, so basically, so I was chatting to a pal because the thing I couldn't think of, which is really where I'm struggling at the minute, I'm trying to rehabilitate myself, right? Because the reason why I'm doing a lot more 3D stuff again is because, for a start, I fucking love it, but also I do it professionally occasionally as well. I do like freelance 3D stuff for money and that, and I'm a bit rusty and I'd like to get some more jobs in. But the main thing is, right, I have a little bit of a hangover from my day job, right? And also the current state of my... It's getting political, not political, it's getting something for a second. What's happening there? That's got weird transitions IRL, but that looks pretty normal. Anyway, it's fine. Doesn't matter that much. But yeah, I have a little bit of, I don't know the right word that I want to use to describe how I'm feeling, but when it comes to my job professionally, so I do professionally, in my day job, I am mostly a product designer, right? I design software, right? And that's part of the reason why I like it so much. It's how the whole thing, how this channel came to be, where I ultimately just talk about creative software, because it's my favourite thing. I don't work in creative software anymore. I work in more B2B, SaaS-y, sort of complex, data-y shit. But, you know, my heart is in building tools like this, and I will get back to this at some point in my career, for sure. Well, no, I mean, actually, maybe not. That's what is bothering me. So, it's TLDR, it's AI, right? Like, so it's not just the existential existence of it. My feelings about it as a technology are broad, and I'm not like I'm not an essentialist. I'm not someone who sort of bakes things down to simple yes/no answers. I'm like a okay with a grey area kind of person. And there's ways in which the industry in which I work is being changed by it, which is not in the way anyone seems to think it is. Everyone's like, oh, it's going to do the work. It's not. It isn't. That's not how that works. But it's more, I don't like, I feel like a big part of, because like where product design's become so systematized over the last few years, there's less room for, creativity is not the right word, like, but problem solving, right? And there's a greater emphasis professionally on problem solving now, which actually helps my career, specifically being a sort of fairly seasoned. I've done it for like a long time, right? So it helps me as a more senior practitioner, but it doesn't help people earlier in their careers and all sort of thing, and they're sort of flailing and lashing out a little bit because they're like, oh no, they're worried, and they're kind of right to be worried, because the way a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them see what they do is the end result, right? You've got this thing of like, there's the artistic, creative aspect of product design, which is, I've always treated all of these things as like points on the spectrum from art to engineering, right? Engineering on the far right is constrained by, far right, but whatever, in which direction the axis will pick. On that end of the axis, it is constrained by physical laws and requirements that are functional, purely functional, and then everything else is what can be achieved. And the architectural aspects or the visual aspects are things that can be made, which add value, but they're strictly constrained by functional requirements. Whereas art on the other end of the spectrum is just, can be fucking anything as long as you like it, right? And you don't even have to like it. It's just a free for all. And like, it's where you fit on that spectrum, right? Product design has always been further towards that engineering side on the spectrum. And what's happening in the industry right now is the requirement is to move even further onto that end of the spectrum, because the sort of UX UI industry has handed half of the keys to their kingdom to other people in the industry in an attempt to sort of gain legitimacy, which is somewhat useful, but also in some ways somewhat misguided. And a lot of them, it's in general, a lot of them become what I call rule lawyers, right? Which is not a term I've made up, but one I love of recent years, where a rule lawyer is ultimately, there's a phrase from a YouTube channel I love where he says, rules make rules lawyers. And the idea is, you spend so long building a system around something, the maintenance of that system becomes more important than the thing it was built to serve, right? You spend more time interpreting those laws than you do actually doing work, and it's become a lot of that. And that's not what I got in it to do. I like solving problems, but I like being creative as well. And I've always found 3D to be a better confluence of that creativity and technical constraint and requirement, because it's still ultimately creative, but it has, there's devil in the detail that I enjoy getting nuts and bolts in, because like AI's made doing software development, my other passion, extraordinarily boring to be around, and it hasn't done that for 3D, nor I think really will it. But anyway, getting back on topic, that was a big aside. I don't think I'm going to carry on working on this today. What I need to do is I was chatting to a friend. So this is the point of my rehabilitation, right? Is in a world where I've done lots of engineering sort of stuff and lots of like technical problem solving, the creative part of my mind is not as good as it was, right? My ability to be creative. I'm still like technically a creative person by trade, right? But that creativity is not where it used to be, and that's the bit where the joy comes from, and I need to rehabilitate myself. I was speaking to a mate on these scenes. My friend's a really great art director. He didn't give me that good advice, but it was still useful, and it shouldn't be, but whatever, it was. So I was like, I built all these assets. I'm like, how should I stage them? And I should know the answer to that question. I shouldn't have built them without knowing first the vision of how to stage them. I was like, oh, I'll build the thing to achieve some technical thing, which at the time was learning Houdini. And then I was like, how do I stage them? So long story short, very long story short, I'm actually going to start looking at staging some of these. So let's go to the latest version of the best or most developed asset, which is my little twist jelly, which is what started all of this. It's based on a real product by a company called Milk, and it's broken. The link to my decal is broken. I'm going to change this to be called decal, and I'm going to quickly give this scene a clean up, but then move away from the scene for a second and think I'm going to stage it. So, bit of texture 1. Yeah, see, there we go. That's not where that's supposed to go. So logo, and this is supposed to be logo, no. Really, I should store it in the project. Actually, at this point, it's probably safer to store it in the project, but whatever. Because I work on this between a PC and a Mac, although mostly on the PC. But that should be barcode on the back. Yeah, let's move that one into here. There we go. And then, so that's 1. So I come into my shader. We'll go into my clear plastic, and then under my decal, I'll set this to, this is texture 1, and then decal. Oh, I think I changed 1 twice. Poo. Let's just change this then. So texture 2, we'll change this over to, maybe I never broke this one. I didn't break that one. Balls. Okay, well, texture 2, what's in there? Nothing, apparently. That's cool. That's going to be logo. Should be the way around. I don't care that much. There we go, logo. Right, so that's texture 2 for now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the barcode off for now. So yeah, I create a little barcode generator in Fusion, because the point of this, not the point, it was never the point, but the way this project went was doing everything in a sort of slightly excessive, unnecessary way to make something that actually is really simple. In fact, since then, this took, like, if you look back at this palette thing, this is a way more complex model, and this took a fraction of the time that this stupid fucking thing took. Just because, you know, I did it with scene nodes instead of just modeling it, which would have taken me, I shit you not, a couple of minutes. Anyway, you live in them. Yeah, so I like this palette. I need to do the makeup material inside it, but I'm going to focus on my stages for these first, right? So chatting to my friend, he came up with a few ideas for, he was like, tie each one of these products to a different kind of like element. So, but not element, but like feel. So each one's got its own identity. And a couple of generic, thing moving past camera type animations. But the actual beauty shot, are just going to be a bunch of stills, because I can't be, like, stills are great because you don't have to be you can be lazier. I love being lazy, but they only need to look good from one angle. You can cut all these corners to make it look nice, where if you have a moving scene, you have to worry about more plausibility. I might do, who knows, but I'll focus on making a nice still for each, but I need to set like a little stage for each one. So he said, the ideas he came up with, which I thought were quite good, were, and I'm going to grab my phone and read them out back to myself, because I have a memory like a sieve. He also said that actually being creative with it is the easy bit. And again, that's the bit I'm struggling with at the minute, which I shouldn't be, but I am. So he went, hydration, so water, something with fluid. I kind of want to do that anyway. I had one idea with sweets, so I'm going to do that with the jelly. And then one with like neons, which I quite like the idea of, because I've done a lot of that kind of thing in the past. So I love neon in general. I think it's awesome. Still think I'm into. I really like neon lights, but also like I've done them in 3D a whole bunch of times. And then one would be repair, broken porcelain reforming itself, which I read as kintsugi, right? Which is like the a Japanese thing where it's like if you break a plate, you put it back together with golden glue, and you embrace its imperfection. You might have seen it before. Hang on. Let's grab up an example of kintsugi. Kintsugi. There we go. Kintsugi, stuff like this. So I'm thinking like something like a scene made up of like a simple scene made up of broken ceramics held together, or like maybe, I don't know, in the shards of a broken bowl you have this thing of rough beauty, as one concept. And then the other one's nature, which again I like that as well because it gives me an excuse to play with some stuff I've never done. So things like grass and trees and rocks and shit like that. I've done like big scenes, but I've never done like a field or like a close up, like a frog on a stump in a magical forest. Never done anything like that before, or any of the related 3D work for that. So I'd like to try that out because I've never done it. So those are my 4. Yeah, so nature, hydration, glue, and repair. And I need to figure out which one I want to do first. And I kind of want to do nature first, only because that's the hardest and the one I know least about, which makes it the most interesting. So let's start on the basics of a scene that can answer that question for myself. Let's go with that. I think that's up to date anyway. I've created a new scene. And quite importantly, we'll go back into my model context, which is shit and wrong. But I'll fix it later. And I will try and I'll see if... So I created a scene yesterday because on my Mac, I started a new trial, which is now, I think, run out. Of the when you do a trial, they give you the I shouldn't be saying this because I know a guy from Maxon occasionally drops in on these. Sorry, Donovan, if you see this, but anyway, they drop you in the highest tier, and I renewed my subscription on the lower tier. So you've got Maxon 1, which is the really expensive one, it's like £1,200 a year, or just C4D, which is like 700 or 600 something, whatever it is. And I went in, I was like, I would very much like some of these rocks, and a lot of these are in this high tier, and I want them. So I was like, if I like, I'll see if this works. If I download them into a scene, will they still work after if the subscription doesn't hook up? And we'll see if that's true. It looks like it might be working. Oh, if that's the case, I'm a criminal genius. Quick shading. It looks like there's no textures on them. That's scaring me. Hang on. We're going to make sure this is red. I have to redo these for Octane because what the fuck is going on there? That model thing. Hang on. Let's just do standard because that model thing is shit. Okay. Hey, it's loading in my textures. Excellent. I have successfully done the heist of the fucking century and robbed all of these. Well, not robbed them. I mean, like, they're on that tier. I just pulled them into a scene and saved it. So, the real crime, the real victim is no one. And once these have all loaded in, I'm going to pick a rock and start building a scene with some grass and some flowers and shit. While that's loading in, let's look at some reference. Let's get this into our minds. So, what we'll do a new tab. Oh, we need a new wallpaper. It's becoming a thing. I get a picture of a day, and we just set it as our wallpaper. This bike men. Love that. I want. Thank you. And then if I do a new tab, do I get my China, my seat, whatever this is? No, I don't. I just get bike men. I'm bored of bike men. I had a nice train before. Anyway, fuck it. So we'll do... Oh, no, it has worked. Hey, it just took a while. Right, we'll do nature 3D art station. 1 second. Keep US dollars. Okay. Right, so what we're going to do is look up nature. And we'll see some of these like 3D nature scenes. I might go to Behance as well, because I think a lot more C4D type, like ad people, basically, post there instead. Yeah, a lot of this is like, I want to get the tone sort of like semi-magical, but not too, like, just like a twee... I'm going to go, it's going to be sort of like, it's going to be pretty much, I think pretty much photoreal, the best I can do with nature stuff, having never done it before. On my general ability to reproduce photorealism, which is, questionable. Good God, this is slow. But yeah, I'm going to get like a sort of like not too magical, but not too grounded twee 2000s almost. Absolutely. Not that sort of like, you know, that thing people, the youth talk about, that whole sort of like Frutiger Aero thing, where it's like, oh, it's optimistic, but a little bit of that. Also, Frutiger Aero doesn't fucking exist. I should know. I was there and a fucking graphic designer at the time. So, does not exist. It's just nostalgia for a time that people who were born in 2004 have, because, you know, they grew up in a bleak world, which is very sad. It's like a dick saying that. Let's not go. Let's not follow that continued route of talking. I am. What's the word? Empathetic, sympathetic. One of those. Apathetic. I'm pathetic. Right. Yeah, we'll try and capture that vibe. Let's just do Behance, nature. And we're classy, we're Baroque. We've got our background of our ceilings. Great. So, nature. Let's just do, I mean, that's just shit. Nature, add. We want like advertising. Shut up, Google. Shut up, Adobe, you pricks. So, we want, these are rubbish. Not eco branding. I want like that sort of like thing sat in a meadow, you know. And I want to do like the grunt work first, and then pull in my ass after. In fact, I might trade out on the concept. I might trade out the water for the sweets because I already started making some sweets. These are crap. All of this is crap. Hang on. Let's just do organic tea. Is that the way that someone advertised organic tea? I have like a mind's eye picture. Let's just do an image search. Let's just do like nature advert products and see what comes up. Hey, yeah, this is a much just do a Google search or a Kaggy search as it is in my world. That's kind of fun. I could do like a product, a thing emerging from a banana, a plant, but then I'd have to model a plant. I don't want to do that because I'd just be shit at it. Not that. More this. This is closer. This is actually pretty cool. Let's open up PureRef. Oh, what's this? Pure. Fuck off. PureRef. Thank you. Ask later. Okay. Oh, my bar reference edited 447 days ago. Excellent. Yeah. So what we'll do? I'm going to grab in a couple of these. That looks like AI garbage. Where was that first one? That was around here somewhere. That was not the banana. I do like the banana. I'm going to grab that banana. Copy image. Wham that banana in. There we go. We've got a banana. All the important stuff. And then I'm going to look at where was it? That's not the right vibe. That's probably a close. This is closer actually. Is that AI? I think it. No, that's a painting. I think that's the real deal. But that's kind of more like it. Ah, this. Bang on. That's exactly the vibe I'm after. In fact, so I'm going to go back to that in a minute and see if I can find another one. This is closer as well. This is way more clever than what I was thinking. Let's just grab that. Ah, this is nice. Some of these are really good. This is performing way better than I thought. That is sick. I love that. It's a bit whimsical as well. I like that. It looks Photoshop-y, which is, again, I'm going to finish this up in Fusion, I think. So it being a bit Photoshop looking is a benefit. Not there we go. That's exactly the vibe I'm talking. That's awesome. That's precisely what I'm talking about. Let's grab that boy. Yeah. I love that. That's fucking cool. That's probably my hero reference. This is quite cool as well. Okay, that's fun. I'm going to make the makeup... I've already decided I'm going to make the makeup thing fucking huge relative to whatever it is, just because it's fun. This is also kind of my vibe, actually, yeah. So, lovely. Okay, so... Nature's refreshment. It's fucking nature's. Is that for real? Nature's refreshment. Fuck off, Coca-Cola, you lying bastards. It's just like sugar water. Literal just. It's just sugar and bullshit. Fucking hate the Coca-Cola company. Evil, evil bastards. That's also very much my vibe. Okay, I'm eating good here. Right, there's a load of shit I can look at here. Excellent. Remember, the best thing you can do is look at people who are more talented than you and rip off their ideas. Just don't do it with a fucking prompt and you'll be alright. There's imitation as flattery and there's imitation as plagiarism. Fine line. Anlo, publab, tomato pest. I don't know. That's what language that is. I don't know. Also, this is not great, but I like it actually. Grown, not made. Then also, this is very clearly a photoshopped image because you can see the rough edges around here, and also it is a massive tin, but also it doesn't read as a massive tin. It reads as like a tin close to the camera on a table in front of a field, right? Versus being a massive tin, and then you've got miniature buckets full of tomatoes, where he's added more tomatoes on top of that bucket of tomatoes because there wasn't enough tomatoes, and then more tomatoes over here. And then the shadow angles don't match, which they would because, you know, the sun, crepuscular rays, they always go at the same angle, unless there's a secondary light source. Getting to conspiracy theory territory here with the moon landings. Where's the second light source? Light sources, shadow angles can bend based on geometry outside of your view. Buildings can change the angle of shadows. It's almost like it's fucking obvious when you think about it and say it out loud, but, you know, tell people who say the moon landings are fake that. Yeah. So these shadow angles match. These ones just don't. You can fuck off. This is fine. You can shut up because I think, yeah, and then that sort of slightly blend into the can. This is a fascinating image. I like it. I like it a lot. Also, no shade. I'd probably forget a load of this shit if I was making it. But the thing that weirds me out, as you can see, is harsh line here, where this can didn't originally. I mean, also he's applied. I think he's applied the label to a generic tin as well. You can see there's a bit of roughness around there. But also, he's got the paste, but he's got a whole bunch of just piled up, incorrectly lit, because they're lit from this way, tomatoes sat in the can. And the top of the lid's clean. This is fantastic. I fucking love this image. It's fascinating. Not in like I'm being a bit of a bitch, but this is cool. Okay, cool. I'm going to steal all these fucking ideas. I'm not sure I'll do the miniature people thing. Although this level of realism, this is like my line, right, of where I'm like, instead of physically plausible, I think is the best one I've got is not this one. But that's, you know, it's not great actually. I think my line is where I want to get to is, let's go to Pure Ref, you dickhead, because we've already gotten, is this guy, this organic juice image, which hopefully isn't fucking AI. Actually, if it's not, who cares? Whatever. It's fine. Yeah. Because this, I think this is compositing real images actually. Because I'm not going to do an orange tree, because that's, fuck that. Fruit's annoying as fuck. But getting to sort of here, and this is, I think this is mostly photo manipulation instead of 3D, I think. Let's have a look. I think it's a mixture. Yeah, because that's real imagery. Let's have a look. Real imagery. This is real imagery. That is also real imagery. Yeah, this is all Photoshop. This is all Photoshop. Excellent. Nicely done. I like that one. That one's probably my favourite actually. And then we've got this one, which I also really like. This is great. And this, so like this is a good. So there's this, which is made of mostly photography, right? Heavily edited photography, and they've got lots of layers. You can see where it's cut off here. This is all Photoshop. This one. Whereas this is probably done in 3D. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think this is all 3D. Or is it? No, I don't think it is actually. I think they just made figures. This might be an actual photo, and this isn't real. These are like, this is flock, and then these are all like pond, like fish tank bits to make it more toy-like. it's interesting art direction. And then we've got this one. This is definitely CG. This is AI actually. Look at that. Teleb coin. But I honestly don't think I have no problem with AI's reference, to be honest, because it's quite a good average machine. But also, this is quite. I'm going to add a little note here actually. Let's add a little. How do I add a label? Can't remember. No. AI avoid. It's quite good because you can sort of say, well, this isn't so, because like LMs are an averaging machine, right? As is diffusion, which makes this. It literally is a noise algorithm, which then reconstructs images by, you know, swapping in things using noise. You produce noise by making averages, and the same with LLMs, right? They are average machines, which means everyone sort of wrings their hands over, like, oh, why don't we like things that come out of AI? Why do we think they're all mediocre? It's because they are. That's how the technology works. It takes an average. It's maths. Yeah. Anyway, this one, Galos. This is Greek, or not, but either way, that's Greek for morning. This one is also photography. I think this is 3D, but this has been comped into a photo. So I do want, for my own sanity, because this is just a vanity project that doesn't actually go anywhere, I want to do more of it in 3D. This is done in 3D for sure. This is my line, right, where it's like, I think it helps if you make it like toy-like. I like the toy-likeness, which means that you can include things like people or other objects. And then also, oh, look at that compression. Look at this as a GIF at one point. Wonderful. So yeah, I was originally going to have it sat on, we might still do that, have it sat on a rock. And I might have a bunch of like women climbing the rock. And it's got like a thing on it. You know, my objects. But I want a focal point. Maybe. And then integrate into the scene. That one less so. That's just fast. That's just fantastic. I love that. This is done with. This is photo manipulation. This is done with Photoshop. No, it's not. No, it's not. Ah, okay. These guys. This is done in 3D. This bit. So this guy, he's a photo scan, I think, from the looks of him. This is how that shading will, you get that very even, just like, like this is your sort of like platonic, I don't know what the photo's supposed to look like, the photo's going to do the work for me type shading, right? So you sort of go for like a generic, you know, mid diffuse look, because it just works well enough, right? When I've taken photo scans or whatever, this is the right way to, not the right way, like the easiest way to texture them, because no one's going to do what I'm doing, right? Because from back here, I mean, also you see the difference in fidelity on this bike, because that's probably a model brought in from a thing, and his hands sort of fit over the handlebars, but he's not really holding them. I don't think this is AI though, because there's not too much implausible shit. Yeah, so we've got, yeah, here we go. These people are blatantly photo scan people, because they're plausible. You can see their low fidelity. And then yeah, this is Photoshop. You can see the rough edges, and then yeah, the corners cut here. Some of them. So I think this is again mixed media. I'm gonna try and focus on doing. Again, she's also a 3D model, but that dog I think is real. You can see he's been cut out. So I think she is another scan. She's probably bought from a figure store. It looks like, and she's been posed in the scene. This bike I think he's gotten a photo scan of a man, or I think that I've also done on one occasion, which was a fucking lifesaver, is Meshy AI. I had a scene where I had like some climbers going up a mountain, right? It was like it was a paid gig, and they wanted to be physically plausible, and I don't think I quite hit. I was never fully happy with the job. Was like, it was good enough. It wasn't. I wanted to be better, but we ran out of time. The budget was going crazy. Like, it wasn't. It was going like the amount of time it took it to that next level they wanted it to kind of be. We don't have time or budget to do that. I wish I had infinite money to make it and to fiddle with it, you know, longer to get it to where I want it to be. But to get these climbers in, we to get these climbers in, I kept trying to like pose people, and like, you know, I got a few like whatever to get the features I wanted. The climbers they were terrible, but like to read from a distance, so like a row of them, because especially ascending this massive mountain, it was like a metaphor for the difficulty of the thing. It was like as a video, as a photo spin around, like as an eagle spinny photo thing around. It's public, it's out there. It's not like a private project, but I won't show you the brand. I don't super love it as a piece of work. I think it's okay as a piece of work. There's a few stills from it that look incredible, but like the actual end result, I'm not happy with the snow. I'm not happy with the camera move. Anyway, but yeah, the climbers, I did with AI, and they're terrible models. They're like, but then for the distance and the amount of like they cost probably to generate them all told costs me probably about 50 quid, maybe 100 quid. But I couldn't find the diversity of climbing people doing a thing. I just drew a rope between them and then like posed them well enough, right? Very rough rigs on them, and yeah, came out great. And the labor to result trade-off was actually pretty fantastic. And I don't hate that use for things like AI. Do you know what I mean? It was this, right? How do I find a man on a bike at the right angle to put on a bike to ride down a thing? And I've only got one on the internet, right? Let's say in a lot of cases there's only one of these in existence. This guy's a photo, I think, but if I need him, I don't think there's necessarily a problem getting a shit AI representation of that guy, because I think it's good enough. Because you still, you know, using AI as a tool doesn't upset me. Offloading your thinking, which is part of the reason I hate it so much, because it entices you to not use your fucking brain and let all your actual critical thinking abilities slowly atrophy. I have much more a problem with. Anyway, so I've got plenty of reference here now. I think. Do I want any more? I think I've got not quite enough that hits the exact vibe. I'm gonna get a few more. That's cool. I like that. Let's get that one. Excellent. And then that hot sauce is not the one. This just reads as slop to me from here. Yeah. Again, you can see it, right? You can see it. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. In fact, this is not 3D. This is a photo. And that behind it, I think, is a printout. Let's have a look. I could be wrong on a lot of these, so I'm not saying I'm necessarily correct. That's just my vibe. I want to see. I'm interested. Is this... What are you? What is you? Hella milky coffee. Hella beauty. This is also beauty as well. So I've got to do something. This is probably my favorite. So this is a photo. This is all flock. These are all real models. This is just epoxy resin, right? You can see, tell from the bubbles as well. It's epoxy. Someone's made this and then placed it in the thing. But this thing's the internet. Yeah, there you go. Little model house. So this thing in the background, they've not. So see, it's it's in the scene. It's in the photo, and I think someone's blown up a low-res JPEG of the scene they wanted and placed it on a bit of cardstock behind. I love that. Oh, problem is, I would do that. That'd be cool, but I don't have my product. My products don't exist. They're fake, and I have no means of manufacturing them, which is very sad. But yeah, I like that. I think that's awesome. Yeah, that's probably that's becoming my favorite look. That's quite trite and fun. This is like, if left to my prompt. This is AI. Highly organic sculpture levitating gently in midair, composed of soft green moss, a few smooth. Can I do my slop report on here? So Kagi's good. You can report AI slop and it downvotes it for everyone. It's fucking sick. You have to pay for it, but it's worth the money. A few smooth, translucent quartz crystals, dew-like water droplets, delicate pastel wildflowers with scattered petals set against a clean white background, soft ambient lighting, Zen-inspired balance, minimalistic floating composition, shallow depth of field, hyper-detailed texture. I mean, there's no shallow depth of field here. Hyper-detailed texture, soft natural shadows beneath the object. That's what I love about AI, because half those things aren't even in this fucking scene. And you go, I've created this. This is my vision. This thing with this weirdly contorted fucking bit of crystal and this little banana-looking cunt down here. But yeah, and look, these bubbles are making no fucking sense. I hate this. Anyway, fuck off. So, ooh, more Hella Beauty. This is another photo. This is fucking awesome. Right. Okay. Do I want to do nature first? I feel like this is a right rabbit hole. But it's a fucking cool one. It's a Dreams Time image. We love Dreams Time around here. Everyone does. That's boring. That's like, concrete wall. Live in Manhattan. Sort of energy. We don't want that energy. We want that elitist hipster energy. We want that sort of like, this is cute. You can buy it. It's a bit expensive, but it's good quality. You know, that's my thing. Something that I love about brand stories, when you go like, some are detectable and some aren't, right? Because a lot of these, you break them down and you go, I don't know what this is, but this says to me, strip out all this meaning. It goes, this is fashion, and the staging is very whatever. But it's like, ultimately this says, I'm amongst these other brands, right? Because that's how they stage these things. And this is how I read it. And then when you get things like this one I saw before, reads very much, it's very lifestyle, it's aspirational, it's aspirational, grounded millennial person, you know. I have my things and I live in a flat in Hoxton, but I love my life, and I ride a fixie bike, and I use this, it's got a thingy label, and I eat lots of salads, and it's like, it's that kind of like pseudo metropolitan aspirational hyper consumer. This also actually reminds me of this roundabout hyper capitalism consumerism stuff, because once people realize that you can brand things like this, they'll do it to lean on that authenticity, and then they stage them like this because like it's a mixture of like the contemporary thing of like urban living. We've got like unrendered but natural concrete walls with render, but we've got houseplants and we've got wood. It still brings it back to it's like, it's basically, it makes you, it feels disingenuous, right? To me, this is all my thing. But then I look at some of these, and I mean, like the one for this one a minute ago has such huge amounts of wonderful sincerity. And it goes, I'm an advert. Look at this cute little scene. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. And you look at it, and it's fucking charming, isn't it? It's just charming. And then if you're paying too much attention to it, like I am, you go, it's a photo. This is epoxy. You know, it's cute. Someone's said, they've like, I like it. It's uncomplicated. They've gone, let's put this in nature, and let's make them massive. Like the brief has been like, let's just do this cute thing, and then put a bit of effort into execution. And to me, that reads as more authentic. So it's all the pictures I get. I've looked at quite a few. I did like the where is it? There's it's tiny. This one, original source. This is very British style. This is very much that quote unquote what was it? Original source. Original source ad. Yeah, that's very much that Frutiger Aero type vibe. So it tells me about the sort of person. I mean, that's crap. It tells you about the sort of person who made it as well, right? You can learn, I think. There you go. Yeah. So this is like, because right, the origin. I don't know if this is even from. This is recent, I imagine. Again, you can tell because like it's got the weird design thing here, but when people set certain brand elements in stone or visual elements in stone, aka in this case the shape of these bottles does not change, they're always the same, right? But then you get people doing more stuff for them over time, they become more complicated, because that's just, you know, how you do that. I say that next to this one, but they have two distinct ranges. So they've got like the more traditionalist range, which come in these, and the more like out there original natural, because they had like this, they basically made their back on this mint, very strongly mint and like I think eucalyptus scented body wash and a few like scents like that, which were very strongly and they're quite invigorating. And they're vegan and whatever, and they're like in one of the earlier in the UK. I don't know if it's in other countries, but this is in Britain. Yeah, the earlier in the UK naturalistic brands, and you can see where as these evolve, so how you know it's later is they weren't doing this. There were white labels around the outside. So as they move in, they go, this is the shape of the bottle. People expect to see it, right? It's recognizable. It's part of the brand. So you see how people iterate and keep riffing on the things. Like, this is a label. Let's start playing the label. See, that's how you know. That's how I know it's more recent. Anyway, but yeah, like a lot of this sort of like hot air balloons. This like, because the idea was cleanliness and whatever, and it wasn't like everyone goes, oh, Frutiger Air is about like positivity about technology, which was true, but actually that part of it was only something Sony Ericsson and Microsoft were doing, right? Some other lesser brands, not lesser brands, but less prominent brands did similar things. So it wasn't some overarching thing. In fact, actually, a lot of 2000s advertising was mostly edginess, and a lot of it was really chauvinistic, and a lot of it was really, really bland, and a lot of it was like it is today, like that sort of aspirational hipstery thing that existed back then as well. But people just compress. You have a tendency to compress history, don't you? This is very. This is newer than that, I think. This is very. Actually, different shaped bottle. This must be from a different country, I think. Cruelty free. So I think this might be American. No, it's 250 milliliters, and it's got the estimated thing. So it's probably not American, because they do it in fluid ounces or fucking yards or whatever. But yeah, this is CG. Well, these bottles are, because they're done really quite badly, because they're not full to the top. But anyway, this is very, and there's some Photoshop as well. This is very 2010s. I have to probably do quite a lot more Photoshopping this than I thought I would, which is cool, because it also makes it easier. But I'm going to do that in Fusion instead of Photoshop, because I don't have Photoshop anymore for a start. But also, yeah, this must have been part of a campaign. I want to find a larger resolution one of the one I've already got, because I like that. Mandarin and Basil. But yeah, like, so they were doing, so again, also, they were doing this sort of thing at the time. Original source. Original source. I know the vibe I'm going for, but like, again, it's that sort of like, it's a mix between that sort of quote unquote Frutiger Aero bubbles and water splashes, a little bit less than that and more towards that more naturalistic, we've staged in a playset type thing. Somewhere between the two, I think, is probably where I'm aiming for. Shower gel. And I realise I've created nothing so far, but I think actually, because again, this is what I'm interested in. I want to get this bit out of the way and spend more time. Like I've done my bit making shit, making whatever. I'm going to use as many assets off the shelf as possible, because it gives me more time to actually try and stage something interesting. This is the fun bit. There's no ads in there. There's one ad. Okay, so and my rock textures have loaded in. Look at that. Look at that. How do these? I wonder how these look. If I do this redshift scene, let's do IPR. I can do redshift live now, actually, can't I? Don't know how to do that. As always, the redshift IPR is fucking awful. Has it crashed? Yeah, redshift IPR is terrible. It's absolute garbage. Oh, wait, no, if I open this back up again, does that mean that... Let me have to wait for those textures to load back in again. Balls. Right, what we're going to do... Redshift. I want to move over to Redshift, but certain aspects of it are kind of crap. I think it's just crashed. Back in a sec. Right. Back. It's not a case of run out of RAM. So I've got a 5080 or 5080 Ti, and I've got 24 threads, and I've got 128 gig of RAM. I know, flex, but I bought it before the shit went weird. I think it's DDR4 as well, because my motherboard's not the newest. But either way, it's a plenty capable computer. Right, so what I'm going to do is let's look a quick look in our actual thing. We'll see what we get with Max on. Let's do outdoor. Let's just do wood. The search on here is really good. I love the asset library in C4D. It's one of the really good features on it. So it's the best. I think it's the best asset library in a 3D app. It all works beautifully. Right, wood. Oh, got some woods. Let's grab some woods. Wood. Wood. wood, and wood, bits of wood. Great. And then landscape, we've got my rocks. Yeah, see, there we go. They're like, oh, you can't have this. I've already got it, motherfucker. Oh, he stole this shit. You can't fucking stop me. I'm crazy. I'll do anything. Set your house on fire, suck a dick, whatever. Let's go. I lost one of my viewers off that joke. I thought it was worth it. I thought it was excellent. Right, so so they've let me down a little bit. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to open recent. I'm going to open up no, my rocks again. And we have to wait about 12 hours for the fucking thing to do its thing. Oh, no, it's going faster. Right, we'll go. Oh, it's this is baking the viewport images. Right, okay. Still slow. I know, because I know some stuff's new, because they had to rebuild a lot of their viewport tech when they've got Redshift and they're not finished yet. So if you do the standard renderer or physical, the C4D viewport's actually quite good for of the time. Okay, so let's look at some of our rocks. Which one of these are interesting? We'll grab some of these into the scene that we want. I did want to see these under IPR, but also I need to reconstruct these for Redshift anyway. For C4D, for use your words, for Octane. But yeah, at some point, I will move more work over to Okie, and then we'll just do coordinates, and then we'll just make this one 0, 0, 0. Okay. I also love this place tool. It's just really good. And they've got another one, which huh? Why can't I select this fucking? There we go. There we go. That was weird. Weird bug out. I've got a wood. Yeah, you can sort of like just rotate and scale. And there's another one which works with this one underneath works with physics. So you can like physics things around. It's really good for scene construction. That's the thing about C4D. Certain parts of it are just so fantastic. So let's open up our Redshift render view. Bloop. And they've got Redshift live. Oh, we can't pan the camera in here, can we? That's the thing that sucks ass about this. Let's just dock it there. Okay. Yeah, so we're in the regular Redshift render, and this is like fine. So, does this hold up close up enough? This one. No, not really. I couldn't place anything atop one of those rocks. This branch totally does, but let's just get a little daylight in here. I might need to reload. I might need to reload Redshift. No, it worked. Come to here, and we'll just, I don't have why. I don't know enough, I think, about Redshift yet. But yes, we change it from non-physical whatever. Because it tends to blow all the scenes out, and I don't know why. Because these are all, yeah. So that. So I think what I'd probably do. Yeah, I think the line is toy shop, but like physically plausible. So, okay, what asset am I going to do? I'm going to do the palette. I think I'm going to sit it on like I want like a tree stump. And I think like, you know, like have like a tree stump, and then like have a bunch of people climbing towards it. Maybe men and women, why not? Don't make it just about the girls. Men can wear makeup too, sure. Why not? Tree. Got an AC unit. I've not used any of this tree stuff, so we'll see what this is like. Is there a stump? Stump? There is. And it's on the fucking pay tier. I want to see it, though. Why can't it won't even let me see the image? Won't even let me preview it. I am scum, so... Come on. Oh, man. So hang on, let's just do... You can't, like, browse. Browse C4D. They call them capsules, which I think is really confusing naming. Capsules. But if I go into here, you can see what's new, but you can't, like, browse the library. I think they should let you browse the library online. But anyway, yeah, you can't see them. It says, oh, they exist. Intelligent assets, Mocha. I mean, they're universally pretty high quality, and they've got loud work plans, so I don't really understand. We might learn some. Right, so do for Sketchfab. Sketchfab, and then we'll just do tree stump. Okay. Okay. Lovely. Okay. They're all downloadable. Excellent. Let's download that. Yeah, I want an FBX. That looks very different to what got rendered, but whatever. Oh, this is good. Yeah, I'll have that FBX as well. Thank you very much. Excellent. And then I think I want this one. I think these are all photo scans, but that's fine. And I'll put these in my own. I've got my own little. I hate Fab's awful. Yeah, these are all photo scans, but that's good. I don't mind that. Dead tree log stump. Oh, I've accidentally downloaded it several times. Oops. And then tree stump. That's not bad either. DAE, Jesus Christ. Okay, I don't think I've ever downloaded a DAE before or used a DAE. What? I know the word, I know the name, but I've never thought, oh, that's a really good one. Cut oak tree stump. That's probably the one. Cut oak tree stump. Oh shit. Oops. Right, one sec, hang on. Okay. That never loaded, but who gives a shit? Did I do cut oak tree stump? I don't know, whatever. So. What I'm going to do, I'm going to close this now. I'm going to undock and close this. Okay, so what was our model? Let's grab this. Oh, shit. Let's grab this model out. Boop. Yep, fine. Oh, colada. Colada. Right, so that's tequila. Is there tequila and pina coladas? I don't think there is. Do you know what? I don't know. I'm not going to find out. So, you know, get rid of that. Oh, actually, no, that plane's probably supposed to have something on it, isn't it? So, what we'll do is we'll just do floor albedo. Boop. No. Okay, right, fuck it. So, floor floor albedo. Let's do that. What has it got? It's done something. And then we've got stump. Let's just grab our stump albedo. Boop. Okay, no. Stump albedo. Let's just drag it onto a thing. No. There we go. And then what we'll do is get rid of the OGs. Great start. Great start to this. So, we'll get rid of all of these to start with. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Right, so what we're going to do is quickly go to render settings, change that to Octane, because that's when you end up anyway. Hello, thank you. And we'll go to rendering, and then we'll do a, where is it? We'll do Octane glossy. Okay, that's tree. Okay, turn that on. And we'll do another one, Octane, glossy, and then we'll just do floor. I never use the universal because I don't really get why you would want to. Floor LB, there we go, perfect. Right, so floor and thing. Right, so go with that. Boop. Okay, get active material, get active material. Yeah. There we go. Blap. Okay, so floor. Drag that in. Thank you. Right, there we go. Floor roughness. Don't need that. Floor metallic, that's going to be 0. Floor normal. We'll just do a normal. Normal map. Thank you. Blap. Boop. Okay, well that roughness is a bit of a mess, but that actually looks alright. I mean, don't think I'll use that floor, but anyway. So we'll go into our cylinder. So let's rename that tree. And then we'll do this, get active material, and then we'll go up and we'll just do stump albedo. There we go. Okay, and then okay, well that's yeah, that's the correct projection. Okay, and then what we'll do is go normal map, get this in texture, put that into our normal. Okay, that looks right. So HDRI, I need to finish setting this up. Actually, no, we're going to do Octane daylight environment. There we go. Wonderful. This is one place also where Octane absolutely takes a shit on. Make it June. Now, this is one aspect in which Octane takes a massive crap on. We're in the wrong part of the world. A massive crap on Redshift. Is the sky material is fantastic. Let's go home. Let's go to the Canary Islands, Las Palmas today. The sun's quite low, isn't it? Why is that? Let's do it like. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that the case? What? That's weird. Hang on. Shadow. Yeah. That's weird. Octane daylight environment. Primary. Yeah. Let's do Nishita. Okay, so then hang on. Is the time getting set correctly? So what we can do is, where's my position? Sun expression, yeah. So is it set to? I can't remember if it's not set to not use it. Hang on. We'll soon find out. Set us to. I think because I can't remember. It's been a little while. Yeah, so it's not set to use it. So we go back into here. We do basic. No, it's on the main, and we do ground. No, it's not the ground. Where is it? Exclusion trace sets. That's not it. Sun expression. I think it's like enable. There we go. Boop. There we go. And then we go back into a tag, and then we'll just set it to now today. There we go. So now we're in the Gran Canaries. Gran Canaria. Okay, cool. Right, so that... Is that fixable? Is that worth persisting with? I don't think that is. I think that one's a dud. So, old tree stump is not the one. Aged mossy tree stump, though, however. Is. Oh, hello. Does this work? I don't think it works on Windows. Oh, well. We'll just do this. Oh, okay. Oh, thank God it's an FBX. Cool. Right, so what we'll do is we'll go to render settings, Octane. There we go. Turn it on. I think I closed that down. Bollocks. And we'll just do an Octane daylight environment, and then we'll go to the time tag, basic, enable. But actually, we'll set that as default preset. Excellent. Just so I have to. There we go. That's way better. Okay, that's shitloads better. So I think so. If I camera, let's just do Octane. Oh, Octane dialog. I need to just actually objects. Let's just grab this into like a little. Hang on. Oh Christ. Objects. Pop that off, and then what we'll do is we will drag that into. Here's a tab. There we go. Just for now, Octane camera, and then we'll fix that at some other indeterminate point in history. Okay, wonderful. So let's just use the correct camera. There we go. And then what we'll do is we'll have a quick look. So I'm just going to set a, let's just do a floor. Okie dokie. Floor's great. Infinite. Goes on forever. No pissing about. And then I'm just going to literally just be like Octane, glossy material, and then we'll just do this like floor plane. For now, I'm just going to set this to be like green. Just like that, right? Make it a more plausible green, just so we can sort of like get a feel of like the light bounce around it. Okay, and then you just sort of stage this with like loads of trees around it, right? Okay, and then what we'll do is I'll go into my camera. Let's do this. And then I think what we'll do is it would be. I'm going to turn this off. And then where is it? Viewing angle. There we go. I'm going crazy. What am I doing here? Octane camera. There we go. Focal length. I'll do this one at 24. A bit wider. Yeah. Actually, you could probably do. You could do like 18mm actually here. That'd be no 18 might be. So if we do 24, right? And what I'm thinking is, we've got like, you know, our product here, right? Which will be this like makeup palette or whatever, and then you can have like a bit of water coming around here, and then some trees and stuff, or maybe like a big cliff around there, Yeah, and then there's like a bit of forest up here, you know? And then you have like people climbing up to get it. And like one woman's like, oh my god, I've nearly got to it. And it looks amazing. Wow. And you have like a bunch of stuff down here, maybe like, and then you just set dress this. Because this feels like a pinnacle on a rock sort of thing. It needs a bit more set dressing to make it look real. But you can fix that. We can embellish that. And what it looks like, so if I change this floor now quickly, it's like a watery thing. Plausible water. I think actually my lighting direction is actually already somewhere I quite like, to be honest. Change this to Enershita. Yeah, so we do Octane. Octane's like more cartoon, or always more cartoony, right? Actually, that default light thing, just surreptitiously, what was it? Serendipitously, I think is in the right angle, right? And then yeah, my makeup palette's like there, and I'm like, oh my god, I really want it. It's so good. But it's got to be bigger. It's got to be like bigger. Yeah, bigger. Yeah. I think that might be the guy, actually. Let's just quickly just lock this camera. Protection. Let's lock that for now. And we can figure out later if we want to move it. But like, this is actually pretty cool staging. I think, yeah, I wouldn't mind having like a bit of something back here. You know, like a bit of... So hang on, let's go back to my rocks. Let's just quickly have a look at staging this. Let's go into my... What are you doing over there, silly bones? Look at you, all far away and shit. So... you doing it? Get back over here, you silly little goose. Right. Aha, there we go, perfect. So something, like, you could get... It needs to be more distant, so maybe like... that. I don't know. And I'm going to wham this into my sketch object, whatever, temp. And I'm going to quickly go into default camera. And then we're going to set the camera in here to... I can't remember how to do this. No. I can't remember. My memory's so shit. I think it's like... Oh, I've got to remember where that... Oh, direct lighting as well. Oh, shit. Forgot about that. Let's look at... Yeah, direct lighting. Path tracing. Oh, actually, you know what? Okay, I'm going to leave that direct lighting for now. I can't use that forever, but that is cool. Okay, imager, we will just do something. Yeah, it's always fun as well, playing with my little whatever. So I'm going to change that into path tracing. Yeah, and then what we would want to do is... I don't know. Let's just do sRGB for now, and we'll turn this back to direct. We can do this later. Okay. That's been a bit of luck, I think. So I don't, as part of this, I don't think I necessarily want, but I think what I'd do is, I'm going to play with scale, I think, on this. So if we've got, where's my rock? Where is it? Anterior rock formation. Where are you? You're there. Oh, you're teeny tiny. Okay. Well, we'll fix that little buddy. We'll make you, for a start, way fucking bigger. I don't know the scale of this scene right now. Huh? What's happened? Oh, no. Hang on. Don't crash. Oh, no. Well, okay. Well, I'll just have to line it up again. I think that's just crashed. Oh, hang on. Oh, man. Yeah. Bollocks. That is the thing that... Hang on. Back in a sec. So that is the thing. with with Octane is occasionally it does just shit its pants. So what we'll do is we'll just do daylight again. Octane daylight environment. There we go. And then what we're going to do is go back into our rendering view. And hope to testicles that this is kind of the thing. So we're just going to do another camera. Octane camera. There we go. And then what we're going to do is go to Octane camera. I think... No. I'd already played with the time of day, I think. Or had I? Can't remember, but I had it like around here-ish, didn't I? No, it was... Which way around were you? You were like, I think like this-ish? Yeah, it was like here somewhere. Right? I think. Was it this one? I think it was this one. Yeah. So... I can actually the best bit is I'm going to rewind the video afterwards and figure it out. But okay, let's leave it there for now. And then what we'll do is we put in a floor. We did a floor. Actually, let's leave the floor off. We'll get that lighting back to kind of where we want it to be today now. And then we did this in the, I think it was the Canary Islands. There we go. I think it was that. And then my lighting model is it default to being on. Hang on, so look. So we get this should work. If we go into here, and then, yeah, so yeah, that's supposed to be the default preset. Anyway, we're back to where we were. Great, love that. Okay. Yeah, that was cool. So before we completely fuck ourselves over, I'm going to leave that floor plane off because this is all going to be, as with all things, it's going to be sold massively by the lighting. I think. Wait, let's actually grab, because I think my floor was intersecting the parts of this in a nice way because I don't need all this floor material because I want to make that very different. So I'm going to go just save this quickly. Personal folder. Nature. .c4D. Okie dokie. Right. So, what I had before. So that's actually let's add a floor in. Floor. There we go. Yeah, there we go. I liked how that's cutting things off, so we will leave that floor as is. That's cool. Okay. Happy accidents, isn't it? All happy accidents. Yeah, that's what we had. Because then it left some rocks sticking out. And made this look more like a pinnacle. So go back into my camera. And then we just do, I think we did 24mm, I think it was, something like that. And then we can obviously play with this a bunch. One second. Right, so there's that. And let's just for my own satisfaction, let's just turn the image on. We'll turn on the and then we'll just turn on the glare. Yeah, a bit of glare, and you'd want a bit of that. You'd want a little bit of, maybe a little bit of fog as well, but we want to see lens flare. We're not. The sun's at the wrong angle for lens flares. But what we could do is let's just quickly add in So go to Objects, Octanes, add a area light. Grab that. Point it towards the camera. There you go. We're just whamming our own lens. We've got lens flares at home. That's crazy. Okay, we don't need any of that. But actually, go as far as just to revert this quickly. Revert to saved. Okay. So I'm going to take a quick break and back in a second.